Hello and welcome to Spanish 1, Unit 2, Lesson 1, BellWork PowerPoint video. Estamos en Unidad 1, Unidad 2, Lección 1, en Español 1. En página 86, letra A. Hola, me llamo Pablo. Hello, my name is Pablo. Mi amiga es Claudia. My friend is Claudia. Somos estudiantes en Puebla, Mexico. We are students in Pueblo, Mexico. Me gusta llegar a clase temprano. I like to arrive to class early. Claudia, ¿qué hora es? Claudia, what time is it? Letra B. ¿A qué hora son mis clases? At what time are my classes? Tengo muchas clases. I have a lot of classes. La clase de matemáticas es a las 7 de la mañana. Math class is at 7 in the morning. La clase de ciencias es a las 8:10 de la mañana. Science class is at 8:10 in the morning. La clase de inglés es a las 10:15 de la mañana. English class is at 10:15 in the morning. La clase de arte es a las 12 menos 10 de la mañana. Art class is at 11:50 in the morning. La clase de historia es a las 12:30 de la tarde. History class is at 12:30 in the afternoon. La clase de español es a la 1:30 de la tarde. Spanish class is at 1:30 in the afternoon. Letra C. Son las 8:10 y tengo la clase de ciencias. It's 8:10 and I have science class. A Claudia siempre le gusta contestar las preguntas del maestro. Claudia always likes to answer the questions of the teacher. Ella es muy inteligente. She is very intelligent. Yo tengo que estudiar mucho y tomar apuntes en clase. I have to study a lot and to take notes in class. Letra D. Tengo que sacar una buena nota en la clase de inglés. I have to get a good grade in English class. A Claudia y a mí nos gusta estudiar a las 8 de la noche. Claudia and I like to study at 8 o'clock at night. Es un poco tarde, pero necesito estudiar. It's a little late, but I need to study. No me gusta sacar una mala nota. I do not like to get a bad grade. Los números desde 11 a 100. Numbers from 11 to 100. 11, 11, 12, 12, 13, 13, 14, 14, 15, 15, 16, 16, 17, 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, 20, 21, 21, 22, 22, 23, 23, 24, 24, 25, 25, 26, 26, 27, 27, 28, 28, 29, 29, 30, 30, 31, 31, 40, 40, 50, 50, 60, 60, 70, 70. This next one's supposed to be 80, 80, 80, 90, 90, 100, 100. En página 88 hay una nota gramatical. On page 88, there is a grammar note. For the numbers 21, 31, and so on, use 21, 31, and so on before a masculine noun, and 21, 31, and so on before a feminine noun. Hay 21 maestros en la escuela. There are 21 teachers in the school. Hay 31 personas en mi clase. There are 31 people in my class. En página 90 hay otra nota gramatical. Use es la una to say it is 1 o'clock. Use son las for any other time. Son las 5, it is 5 o'clock. Use e plus minutes for the number of minutes after the hour up to the number 30. Son las 2:10, it is 2:10. Use menos plus minutes for the number of minutes before the hour. Es la una menos 20, it is 12:40. If it helps you, think of it as it is 1 minus 20 for a little time hack in Spanish. Use y or menos cuarto for a quarter of an hour and y media for half an hour. To say what time something happens, use a la or a las. La clase de arte es a la una y la clase de inglés es a las 2. Art class is at 1 and English class is at 2. En página 91 hay nuestra primer presentación de gramática. On page 91 is our first grammar presentation. Goal: learn how to form the verb tener. Then use this verb to say what people have and have to do and how often. English grammar connection. Conjugating is changing the forms of a verb to indicate who is doing the action. For example, the English verb to have is conjugated as I have, you have, he, she, it has, or we have, or they have. Claudia has a computer. Claudia tiene una computadora. The verb tener. Use the verb tener to talk about what you have. How do you conjugate this verb? Here's how. Tener means to have. Your textbook at this point in time, and generally speaking, the Spanish world, assume that once they give you the infinitive form, you are supposed to be able to logically deduce how they follow through the rest of the tense in the present tense conjugation. So yo tengo is I have, tú tienes, you familiar have, usted tiene, you formal have, él tiene, he has, ella tiene, she has, nosotros tenemos, we have, vosotros tenéis, y'all have, ustedes tienen, y'all have, ellos tienen, they have. Tenemos clase el lunes. We have class on Monday. ¿Tienes una bicicleta? Do you have a bike? Tener plus que plus infinitive is used to talk about what someone has to do. Tengo que estudiar. I have to study. Miguel tiene que leer un libro. Michael has to read a book. En página 93 hay otra nota gramatical. On page 93, there's another grammar note. The expressions of frequency, siempre and nunca, are usually placed before the verb. Antonio siempre toma apuntes. Antonio always takes notes. Rafael nunca llega a clase tarde. Rafael never arrives late to class. Mucho is usually placed after the verb. Raquel estudia mucho. Raquel studies a lot. De vez en cuando, muchas veces, and todos los días are usually placed at the beginning or the end of the sentence. Todos los días, Jaime trabaja. Every day, Jamie works. Jaime trabaja todos los días. Jamie works every day. En página 96, hay otra presentación de gramática. Goal: learn the forms of AR verbs. Then practice using the verbs to say what people do. English grammar connection. A verb tense is the form of the verb that shows when an action is happening. The present tense shows that an action is happening now. The Spanish present tense verb form estudiamos can be expressed in English in 3 different ways. We study, we are studying, or we do study. We study Spanish. Estudiamos español. Present tense of AR verbs. Many infinitives in Spanish end in AR. How do you form the present tense of these verbs? Here's how. In Spanish, the present tense is formed by changing the ending of the verb. To form the present tense of a regular verb that ends in AR, drop the AR and add the appropriate ending. The prototype they're giving you, or example, the model for you to practice from is hablar. So we drop the AR, add the ending O. It gives us yo hablo, I talk or I speak. Drop the AR off of hablar, add AS, gives you tu hablas, means you familiar speak. Drop the AR, add the letter A, gets you habla. Usted, él, ella, habla, you, he, she, or it speaks or talks. Drop the AR off of hablar, add amos, A-M-O-S, and you get nosotros hablamos, we talk. Drop the AR off of hablar, add ice, A-accent-I-S, vosotros habláis, and you get y'all talk or speak. Drop the AR off of hablar, add AN, and it gives you ustedes, ellos, hablan, y'all, they, or it plural talks or speaks. Hablo inglés. I speak English, I am speaking English, or I do speak English are your 3 options that can work for this sentence depending on what makes the best sense with your context. Hablan español. Do they speak Spanish? Are they speaking Spanish? Página 89. Telehistoria escena 1. Goal. Listen to how Pablo and Claudia talk about at what time they will study. Then practice these words to ask and tell time. Strategies. Cuando lees, focus on time. Read 4 expressions of time like hoy or a las 8. How many can you find in the scene? What do they mean? Cuando escuchas. Listen for questions. Listen to find all the questions in this scene. Who asks most of the questions? What does that person ask about? Claudia dice, Pablo, hay examen de ciencias mañana, ¿no? Pablo, there's a science test tomorrow, right? Pablo dice, sí, me gusta la clase de ciencias, pero sacar una buena nota, un 90 o un 100 es difícil. Yes, I like science class, but to get a good grade, a 90 or 100, is difficult. Claudia dice, necesitas estudiar 1 o 2 horas. You need to study 1 or 2 hours. ¿Te gusta estudiar con amigos? Do you like to study with friends? Pablo dice, sí, pero hoy no. Yes, but today no. Hay fútbol. There's soccer. Mañana? Tomorrow? Claudia dice, sí. ¿En la escuela? Yes, at school. Pablo dice, sí. ¿A las 8 de la mañana? Yes, at 8 o'clock in the morning. ¿O más temprano? Or more early? Claudia dice, a las 7 de la mañana. At 7 in the morning. ¿Está bien? Is that okay? Pablo dice, sí. Yes. The bell rings and they part ways for class. Pablo dice, hay chicas muy inteligentes en la escuela. There are very intelligent girls at school. Página 94, Telehistoria, escena 2. Oh, notice how Pablo and Claudia use the verb phrase tener que to talk about what they have to do at school, then use tener and tener que to say what you and others have to do. Strategies. Cuando lees, find the tag questions. This scene contains the tag questions. No. Where are the tag questions in a sentence? How do they differ from questions like ¿Quién es? Cuando escuchas? Weigh the motive. Listen for Pablo's reasons for not studying for the test. What are his reasons? Do they sound credible to you? Have you ever used them? Pablo's cell phone rings. Pablo dice, Hola, ¿quién es? Hello, who is it? Claudia. ¿Qué tal? What's up? Sí, a las 7. Yes, at 7. Tenemos que estudiar mucho. We have to study a lot. The next morning, Claudia and Pablo walk to class. Claudia dice, Pablo, tienes que estudiar más, ¿no? Pablo, you have to study more, right? Pablo dice, sí, tenemos mucha tarea y los exámenes son muy difíciles. Yes, we have a lot of homework and the tests are very difficult. Claudia dice, pero te gusta sacar buenas notas, ¿no? But you like to get good grades, right? Pablo dice, sí, tenemos que estudiar más. Yes, we have to study more. También se dice, in Mexico, Pablo uses the word tarea to talk about homework. In other Spanish-speaking countries, you might hear, en muchos países, los deberes. So tarea is homework, los deberes also is homework. Página 99, todo junto, telehistoria completa. All together, the complete telehistoria. Goal, share what you know. Pay attention to how Pablo and Claudia use tener and AR verbs to talk about their test and what they do after school. Then use these verbs to say what you and others do during and after school. Strategies. Cuando lees, look for the unexpected. As you read, look for 2 surprises involving Pablo. What are they? Why are they unexpected? What did you expect to happen? Cuando escuchas, listen for cognates. Listen for cognates like examen, exam or test. What cognates do you hear? What English word or words do they sound like? What do they mean? Escena 1, resumen. Scene 1, summary. Pablo y Claudia necesitan estudiar porque tienen un examen de ciencias. Pablo and Claudia need to study because they have a science test. Escena 2, resumen. Scene 2, summary. Pablo y Claudia hablan por teléfono. Pablo and Claudia talk on the phone. Tienen que estudiar más. They have to study more. Escena 3. Pablo dice, Claudia, en el examen de ciencias tengo un 90. Claudia, on the science test, I have a 90. Claudia dice, y yo un 100. And I a 100. Pablo dice, estudiamos tú y yo todos los días? We're studying, you and I, every day? Claudia dice, sí, pero tú necesitas tomar buenos apuntes, ¿no? Yes, but you need to take good notes, right? Pablo grins. ¿A qué hora practican fútbol? At what time do you practice football? Pablo dice, Muchas veces practicamos a las 8. Many times we practice a las 5 at 5 o'clock. Mañana practicamos temprano. Tomorrow we practice early. A las 3:30, at 3:30. ¿Y tú? And you? ¿Qué necesitas hacer mañana? What do you need to do tomorrow? Claudia dice, mañana, tomorrow, estudiar y hacer la tarea de ciencias. To study and to do science homework. Claudia says goodbye and leaves. As his friend Roberto walks up, Pablo distractedly pulls Alicia's t-shirt out of his bag and puts it on. Roberto dice, "Ay, Pablo, qué interesante." "Oh, Pablo, how interesting." Pablo, embarrassed, takes the shirt off quickly. El fin. Gracias por escuchar. Español 1, Unidad 2, Lección 1, el trabajo de timbre. Thank you for listening to Spanish 1, Unit 2, Lesson 1, BellWork. Adiós.